Third alarm fires, wildfires, recognizing our own and remembering the past. March kept us moving. Here's your Oklahoma City Fire Department monthly update. Hello everyone, I'm John Chenoweth, your Public Relations Officer, bringing you the latest update. In March, Oklahoma City Fire Department responded to 9,131 emergency incidents, averaging 294 calls per day. These included 100 structure fires, more than 600 vehicle accidents, 64 vehicle fires, 38 lockouts, and 41 elevator emergencies. Also in March, our transport ambulance service responded to 1,715 calls and transported 973 patients. Since the start of the year, we have also responded to 642 grass fires and 315 trash fires. As we move into warmer months, the risk of wildfire continues to climb, and we've already seen how dangerous conditions can become when everything aligns just right. Friday, March 14th was an especially demanding day for our crews. Firefighters responded to nearly 400 incidents, including 19 structure fires, 115 grass fires, and 34 down power lines. We extend our thoughts to everyone affected by these events and thank our first responders for their commitment and professionalism throughout the day. And now I would like to introduce Shift Commander David Shear, who will share how the Oklahoma City Fire Department prepares for high-demand days like March 14th.
My name is David Shear, Shift Commander for the Red Shift. What the Shift Commander is usually doing on these high-risk wild and urban interface days or grass fire danger days is we're basically wanting to get the city prepared for what may or may not happen, but we want to be prepared for the worst-case scenario. So usually that kind of information starts the day or two before as we're being weather aware. When I arrive at the fire station, it's usually 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. We start looking at Mesonet, the Oklahoma Mesonet, and we look at the burn index for the day. And when it's in the high risk or ultra high risk extreme conditions, then obviously we realize that the potential is pretty high for a grass fire danger day or a wild and urban interface day. So at that point in time, we can kind of consider the threat level for the day and determine whether we needed to staff all of our frontline brush bumpers. We do have 16 frontline brush bumpers, and 4 of those are double staffed with 2 people every day. And then some of the others, we determine whether we need to staff them, all of them for that day, or if all or part of them would need to be double staffed based off of the potential threat for the day. The next thing we do is we get with the police department and our air tactical unit. So we have 2 helicopters. The police department has 2 helicopters, I should say. We have a team for each of those helicopters, so it's a 3-person fire department team. One of them is a crew chief, and then we have 2 ground units. We usually try to put at least one of those in service. Sometimes the police department has 2 available, and that has happened on a particular day on March the 14th. This year we had 2, but most days we only have 1 available to us. Another thing the shift commander does is focus on the need for evacuation. So if we need to evacuate a particular area or we have a fast-moving wildland fire, then we can contact the National Weather Service and they can send out an emergency alert, just like you would for a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning, but they can send out a fire warning as well, and we can spell out which areas need to evacuate. So if that's necessary, the shift commander is going to be doing that as well. One of the biggest challenges we have as a shift commander leading into days like we had on March 14th is just allocating resources, making sure that we have all of the extra resources staffed and all of our equipment staffed and in top shape, ready for the day. We usually have more than enough resources most days, but on these days we put everything in service that we can, and we still sometimes have to prioritize those resources to do the most good and to try to control the fire to the best of our abilities.
Thank you, Shift Commander Shear. Now let's hear from Major Chris Haley, who served as the incident commander during a double house fire on March 14th near 122nd in Pennsylvania.
All right, my name's Major Chris Haley, Oklahoma City Fire Department. I was the incident commander of the double structure fire just around 122nd and Penn back on 3/14 of 25. We cleared off another house fire it was another double house fire, and we heard engine 15 getting dispatched to a grass fire in a neighborhood around that area. When they arrived, they saw a heavy fire in between 2 houses. They immediately called for a fire alarm. Shortly after that, I arrived, took command, did face-to-face with engine 15. I did a little walk around on 11601, the further south house There was a lot of smoke coming out of the eave, so I sent engine 3, engine 15 in on fire attack. And then 602, which was Tyler Smith's very first day to ride out. He did an excellent job, so he showed up, and I gave him the house of 11605. So as I was giving him the report on what our goals were, and gave him the assignment of 11605, Jared Freeman, the DAA for 604, got my attention that it's getting worse down there at 601. So I went back down there, rounded the Bravo side, and just saw a wall of fire from the ground up through the roof at the exact same time. Ladder 22 cut a hole, ordered everybody off the roof, everybody out from inside, ordered evacuation. Major Smith and I both decided that the house in between 605 and 609, that was going to be our line in the sand. We couldn't lose any more houses. We knew we lost 2. We could not lose another. So they did an excellent job keeping the hose lines and keeping all the debris off of that house. They fought that for quite a while, trying to keep it off. Then we start looking around, and we had embers the size of whole shingles just floating through the air. So it was setting spot fires everywhere. I believe the winds were about 40 mile an hour constant winds, gust around 60. I believe the relative humidity was about 11-ish. It was pretty surreal, pretty eye-opening how hard everybody worked on this fire. I mean, everybody was just completely exhausted, just totally spent. There was never a time whenever ask somebody to finish one task and, hey, are you ready to go? Everybody was just gung-ho, ready to keep going. You could tell they were just exhausted, but everybody gave it their all. Dispatch had their hands full. And then also the village fire department, they were putting them on ember control, which was important for around us. But then after it was all over with, we were able to pull them in and do some mop up, and they were just excited about getting their hands dirty and getting in and just kind of helping out. But it was just pretty all impressive how everybody pulled together, everybody met the need. It was just neat how everybody worked, just did what needed to be done, and just multitasking.
Thank you, Major Haley, for your insights, and to you and your crew for your swift action and dedication that day. Grateful for all you do to keep our community safe. We'd now like to welcome Major Bo Woodard to provide details about the incident that occurred on March 27th.
I was the incident commander of a third alarm fire at 3001 North Grand. We responded to a 200-foot wide by 100-foot event center with heavy fire involvement, heavy fire conditions throughout whenever we arrived on scene. Initially called for, Engine 14's officer called for a second alarm prior to my arrival there. Whenever we arrived on scene, I did a face-to-face with him and had heavy fire involvement, approximately 50 to 75% of the building at that point. We did discover a unique obstacle in this incident there was an apartment complex just to the north of our fire incident, and a lot of smoke was going into that complex, causing an exposure issue. So we had to evacuate 4 buildings within the apartment complex. That did result in one smoke inhalation patient being transported to the hospital. But it was great work on the crews. That's kind of a unique scenario that doesn't happen at every commercial fire we have, but they did a great job of coordinating amongst each other and getting all 4 buildings evacuated in a very timely manner. And due to the number of resources needed to complete that task, requested a third alarm at that time, had a total of 21 apparatus and 54 personnel at the scene. Once we got the main body of the fire knocked down, we started overhaul operations and was able to release some companies back to service, but did discover this building had a metal roof on it with several layers to it, and fire had gotten into a good portion of the roof, and Station 14 stayed there the remainder of the night, was relieved by green shift personnel that following morning. And then that following day on the 28th at around noon, Public Works was able to get one of their excavators on scene and start demoing that northwest corner to help us with the hot spot and overhaul watch operations that we were performing.
Thank you, Major Woodard, for joining us for this month's update and for sharing information about the commercial fire that turned into a third alarm. We are proud to recognize 2 of our own for the incredible achievement. Corporal Austin Blake and firefighter Cameron Cooper have become the first Oklahoma City firefighters to successfully complete the Oklahoma Smoke Diver program. This elite course, hosted by the Oklahoma Smoke Diver Association, is a rigorous 6-day, 60-hour training designed for experienced firefighters. It focuses on self-survival, firefighter rescue, advanced search techniques, and effective teamwork within the incident command system. Simulating extreme firefighting in disaster response conditions, the program challenges participants both physically and mentally, enhancing their ability to operate under intense stress while sharpening situational awareness, decision-making, and safety skills. Congratulations and thank you to Corporal Blake and Firefighter Cooper. Your hard work, determination, and dedication makes us all incredibly proud. In March, fire investigators conducted 30 fire investigations. Of these, 3 arson cases were referred to the district attorney's office, 1 had an individual referred to the Youth Fire Setter Individual Program, and 9 cases remain undetermined. Additionally, 11 fires were ruled accidental, with the following causes. An electrical cable in the ceiling fan overheated. Resistive heating occurred in electrical cord that was doubled up under a bedpost, igniting nearby combustibles such as wood and clothing. Improper disposal of smoking materials caused 2 separate incidents. A lithium-ion cell phone battery went to thermal runaway, igniting nearby lightweight materials. Electrical pole lines igniting nearby vegetation, which then spread to the house. Improper use of relocatable power tap caused resistive heating, which ignited lightweight materials. Mechanical damage in electrical service supply caused arcing inside the PVC conduit. Improper use of an extension cord led to resistive heating, igniting furniture and clothing. Electrical wiring overheated, generating enough energy to ignite wood near the house's soffit. As we move closer to April 19th, let's take a moment to remember. On April 19th, 1995, the Oklahoma City bombing claimed 168 lives, including 19 children, and forever changed our community and nation. It was a day of heartbreak, but also a day that showed the strength, compassion, and resilience of the people of Oklahoma and beyond. Let us honor the lives lost, the survivors, and the brave first responders who answered the call. May we continue to stand united in remembrance and hope. Keep an eye out tomorrow for our latest edition of Coffee with the Fire Chief. In the episode, Fire Chief Kelly engages in meaningful conversation with Carrie Watkins, the Executive Director of the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum. As we close out our March update, the Oklahoma City Fire Department reminds everyone to stay alert as we head into spring. Warmer weather means increased outdoor activity. Please ensure grills are used safely, smoke alarms are tested monthly, and escape plans are reviewed with your family. Preparedness saves lives. Stay safe, stay aware, and remember, we're here if you need us.